Hello, my name is Natasha Poole, and I am making another or new Marriage Rocks video. This is by request. Basically, it is 12:30 in the a.m. I am in Detroit, Michigan. Just got off work. Probably walked in the doors about 30 minutes ago. So I've had a long day, and I'm extremely exhausted. However, I made a vow and I'm going to keep it. This is in concerns to Marriage Rocks. There was a topic posed to me, and it has been basically in my heart all day. And I've been pondering on it. I want to make sure I say the right things. So, tonight's topic, having said all of that, is simply entitled, Where is the Love? Okay, so it's very informal. Still got my work clothes on, so excuse all of that. Just listen in, okay? I hope that it blesses you and helps you in some sort of way. Okay, so I want to pose a scenario to you first. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been with your mate and hugged them, or received a hug from them, or a kiss, or maybe they grabbed your hand to try to be affectionate in some sort of way, and you felt nothing? Okay, now think about it again. Right, you felt nothing, or what you felt wasn't butterflies, or it didn't make you feel excited or happy. It was just like a regular person on the street, or maybe a friend. So you understand what I'm saying? There are differences when your mate touches you in any sort of way versus a coworker or a cousin or uncle. And so sometimes we reach points in our marriage that may happen, that the feelings that we once felt physically or emotionally may have fizzled, may have dwindled, or may not be there at all. Or at least we may think that. These things do occur, and you're not alone if you feel like this. First, let me say that it happens quite often. In marriage, it's very important to understand that your feelings that you feel going into a marriage may not always be the same for the duration. They may change. The affection that you feel towards your spouse may not necessarily be on the same level, same magnitude. But that's nothing to be down about. It's nothing to feel like it's over or there's a need to get divorced because you don't feel the same in that moment. First, we have to understand that feelings do change. What you feel today for this person might be what you felt for someone else before them. You have to understand that. Recognize that they are feelings. You do have them. It's not necessarily you can only have this feeling for this person only and never for no one else. So we can't be deceived when we don't feel the same thing. We have to think of our surrounding circumstances. Maybe you might be dealing with stress. Maybe there are several factors involved in your marriage. Maybe you're experiencing hardship, lack. Maybe you're being pulled in several different directions. I recall maybe about 4 years back, I was really going through a tough time within my marriage, and me and my husband found ourselves in a position where we didn't look at one another the same. We were trying to communicate, we were trying to express ourselves to one another, but it just wasn't being communicated clearly. We weren't happy, and we didn't know how to resolve it. All we knew in that moment was we weren't happy with one another. And I knew the two of us were really heading in separate directions. We reached out, or at least I know that I personally reached out for help and direction from other people. But I do understand now that everyone might not be in a position to help you. Even the people that you may surround yourself with, people that may have been married for long periods of time. There are a lot of marriages that are hurting, a lot of people that are wounded, and people don't want to help anymore. People don't want to share what they go through, and or for fear of exposure. They don't want people to look at them and look down upon them because they feel a certain way, or they may, have trouble in their marriage and they just don't want people to know. They want everyone to feel like things are perfect within their home. Well, things are not always perfect in everyone's home. We're all human and we all make mistakes. We all feel different ways at different times. And so never feel down if you're in that position. Never feel, depressed or anything like that. You should just pause, take a moment, reflect. You have to do certain things that could change the situation. I was thinking about on my way home from work, I was in the car, and I recall my father mentioning to me one time, we were talking about the connection and the iron. I remember growing up, and have you ever experienced a point where your iron is not powered on? Although it's plugged in, there's no power. And I remember saying, "Oh, Dad, it must be a short in the wire." I've said that because I've heard it said before. Now, my father, of course, he works for the Edison Company, which is the electric and gas company on the West Coast. So that would be SCE. So he would say to me, "Listen, everybody says if something isn't working and it's plugged in, there's a short in the wire." He says that's incorrect. It's not a short in the wire. It actually means there's an open wire. And he began to explain that process to me. And of course, at that time, I'm probably like 11 or 12, so I really didn't understand. But I never forgot that. And I think that as it relates to marriage, sometimes, you're connected. So you're married, Mr., Mrs., got the papers, but there's no power. It was functioning fine, but at some point you reach a point where there's no oomph. It's not being able to do the things that you used to do, or not able to produce the same result. And so you say, wait, it's a short in it. Or, okay, we just not connected. It's a problem. So most times what people do when they think it's a short in the wire is they try to replace the iron. And so they throw out the old one and then go purchase a new one and go through that same process again. You may have done that before. And I remember my dad basically just exposing the wire. He opened up the cord, exposed it, and I believe he reattached it. He did something with it. But after he did that and closed it back up, the same iron had power. It was able to function. And sometimes that's what we have to do. We have to open up ourselves. And it's okay. That's what marriage is about. You have to open up your heart, even though you feel like, okay, I've married this person, I've connected, they know about me, I know about them. There are some things that you may not have completely opened yourself up about out of fear. Some people don't want to be hurt. Well, you take that risk when you get married, and that's okay. That's more than okay. Don't worry about that. Don't concern yourself with that. Just open up yourself, freely open up yourself, and give that person the opportunity to help mend that. And once you do that, you'll find that you may be able to make it past that and function as you did, maybe even better. Maybe things can come together and be more solid. I've experienced that in my own marriage. We have taken time and exposed the things that we may not have exposed to other people. And we let our hearts out and let one another in. And after that point, the way we communicate now is differently. We are very strong. We love one another. You don't always have days where you feel butterflies. And that's okay. That doesn't mean that you don't love. That doesn't mean that you're not in love with the person. So never let your feelings dictate and rule the direction that you go into. Don't be deceived. Marriage is not about feelings only. So, having said all of that, I want you to ask yourself, where is the love? Where is the feeling that you had initially? What did you do with it? What came in between it? What happened? Expose yourself. Open yourself up again. Review it. Take the time and get to know yourself and how you actually really feel in your heart, deep down inside, about where you are right now. And communicate that. Let your mate know where your love is and see if they're willing to meet you in the middle. I hope that I said something on today that has helped. I know that we can all get there together if we try. I hope you're willing to try, because marriage does indeed rock. I love you all very, very much. And let's keep moving forward together, okay? All right. Good night.